1, 2, 3, 4. Hello.
Hi. You counted backwards. I got confused. Good afternoon. Welcome to Friday's live stream here at Grays of Westminster in the High House of Nikon. High Church, some people call it.
Yes,
Nikon.
in the District of Westminster in London, United Kingdom.
That's right. As you can see, we are in very autumnal colours today. I quite like our coordinated outfits.
Plenty of things. The haircuts, the beard styles, you name it.
No, we really don't. We've had an interesting time reading the comments from everyone this morning.
Yeah, it looks like you're all angry. What's up with that?
So's he. So don't worry. There is a certain amount of there's some angst that we will work through. I am also slightly sleep deprived, so bear with me if I forget words.
It's gonna go well. I think straight away I have to apologize for things I'm about to say. Hopefully not, but
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I need some chamomile tea, I think.
Chamomile tea, and I need an injection of coffee. So on that note, as Seth said, it's Friday. And, the coffee fund is open / chamomile tea fund for Con, so that he
whiskey
can
fund.
Calm down, or whiskey fund, whatever floats your boat. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the announcements, but also just some other bits and bobs. We're just going to talk camera stuff. Gary is not angry, so we should start with Gary's comments.
Exactly. I think the only comments we're going to read today is Gary's comments.
Yeah.
Keep it civil, basically.
But we will definitely discuss the elephant in the room.
There's an elephant.
Calling you an elephant. The elephant in the room is that Nikon did make an announcement this week. Actually, if you've watched our recorded podcast, Nikon Report this week, then you will notice that we were not informed in advance of the Black ZFC announcement. And that, I think, probably has to do with the fact that it's a Nikon store exclusive. That's what I understand anyway.
Yeah.
We did obviously know about the 40mm f2 special edition, which was why we were able to record that little tidbit of news beforehand and then put it out. Obviously, we only get told certain things very limited amount of time before the announcements, but just enough for us to squeeze in our recordings, because as most of you know, apart from the live stream itself, which is very live and very unfiltered and very disorganized, the pre-recorded stuff takes a huge amount of work and editing and making sure that's all perfect. And when you're putting out something like a Nikon report where we do all of that news, we get a lot of it wrong and Con has to cut it out afterwards.
I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And then put in the images and stuff. And then also put it out on multiple platforms, because it goes out as a podcast and on YouTube. And obviously our vlog videos, which I edit, which are, again, a huge amount of work, which is why they take so long to get out. But we do need the advance notice. So we didn't know about the Black ZFC until it arrived.
But you know why? Because apparently Black ZFC is reserved for Nikon store only, at least in the United Kingdom, and it seems like in Europe as well.
And in Canada, according to Thaddeus, it's only from Nikon Direct in Canada.
Okay, says, do you have any update on Black ZFC with Adorama, or is it also reserved for Nikon Store USA? My question to you, the viewer, is this. Obviously, Black ZFC, in my opinion, is the camera that would be quite a good option for dealers to have, because it's the camera that will sell a lot of units, because a lot of us photographers who saw ZFC and liked it, they also asked for Black ZFC. It's not the same as having ZFC in, let's say, bubblegum pink, or or mint green or shiza brown. So it's a Black ZFC. It's something that they had in the past as a, let's say, FM3 in black and FM3 in chrome.
Yeah.
Now, we obviously are dealers, so it does upset us a little bit that it's reserved for Nikon Store only. But the question to you, if you're going to skip all this and trying to be unbiased, let's say if you're in the United States or in the United Kingdom or anywhere else in the world, if you would like to purchase a Black ZFC, would you like to purchase it in, at your local dealer, or you're okay to buy it from Nikon Store? Nikon Store UK or USA, it's a web store. It's not actually the place you can come into. So I'm just going to put a poll on that, and I want to ask your opinion about that, because in my opinion, I would like this to be available, obviously, with all the shops basically, because it's not exactly the same. Like people say, oh, it's too many different SKUs. No, it's not. It's not really, because it's either silver or black. All the other, all the other colors
Yeah.
are not going to sell as much. Black ZFC will sell a lot, and for a lot of dealers nowadays for Christmas, that would be a good sell, I think.
Now, to add to that, folks like Gary and Thaddeus said they'd like to support their local dealer. And we obviously hugely appreciate that, because, yes, I've noticed also with other brands when they are selling their own product, it kind of detracts from how much dealers want to push their product. For us, it's a very different situation. We just do Nikon. We don't do anything else. So it's not like we would go, oh, well, you wanted a black at ZFC, you can't buy it, so you're buying a present for your nephew or niece or something. I mean, that's a really nice present, but anyway, buy a Fuji instead, because that's what we've got in stock. We can't do that. The black finish is really nice. A few people were saying, like, what about the 24 karat gold version? I don't know if that will turn up. To answer your art dude, the all black did not actually cancel out the silver version. The silver version is still available from all your dealers. It just is an additional product that you can only get from the Nikon store. And Seth has actually answered our question. He said Nikon told us from launch any color variants are through Nikon Direct, which is also the case here. And colors vary by region, like USA is black, etc. So we have a similar thing. I read on the announcement, I think through Nikon Rumors or possibly on one of the photo forums, that some of the different colors are region specific. In the UK, we seem to have the kind of brown, midnight blue, dark green. We seem to have all the colors from what I can see in the black finish. I don't know if that's different in other regions.
But I think this is different because all the colors that we talk about is basically the leatherette.
Yeah.
Those are applied effectively, before the packaging the product.
Yeah.
So the actual camera is the same as the standard ZFC in chrome.
Yeah.
The black ZFC has completely different finish. So it's basically got different paint.
Yeah.
So it's very different from other SKUs that they have. And in terms of this, again, like Nikon used to do remember those D3500s in the red and gold and something, where they had. I understand that's a different story, but because the camera is aimed, well, first of all, it's kind of marketed as retro camera.
Yeah.
And retro cameras were released in black and chrome versions.
Yes.
So I think this really is very important. And if you look at the poll that we have right now, over 90% of people actually do not agree with Nikon on, well, it's 90% exactly now, so of keeping it for themselves.
Thank you, 90% of you. I mean, that's just to make us feel,
yeah, I mean, is a dealer, I understand, well, obviously, maybe we're pushing from a high horse, etc. But as a user themselves, as the buyer themselves, it's very important for us to hear your opinion. And I think what you tell us via this poll is very important. And I hope if someone like Nikon watches us, they will go somewhere.
They might listen.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is odd messaging from our side of things, because obviously we do just Nikon, and I'm not saying that just Grace should get the black ZFC, but
no.
It would be logical that if anyone did, it would be us. But at the same time, I think that every dealer should have the opportunity to sell this product, particularly with, and this is the key thing, the timing of the release being right pre-Christmas.
Yeah.
This is a product which most of the new releases pre-Christmas somehow work their way onto people's Christmas lists, or we have people saying, oh, I'm going to buy a new camera for my girlfriend or husband or whatever, and then they pick whatever the newest thing that came out was. So yeah, it is a bit of a shame. As Jeff said, I'm really thinking seriously about buying a black ZFC, but I'd prefer it if I could buy it from Grace. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Loyalty is not dead. Anyway, but there are a few other sort of things. We did have the situation with the colored leatherette. Yeah, but initially, as you say, it's not a big deal.
Color leatherette is different.
It is different. And there was that kind of, I think after the different colors came out, we inquired a few times about whether or not there would be a way to get those colors, and Nikon said, look, if you really had someone pushing for it, we might be able to figure something out where we could get you some of those colors. But bearing in mind, if you actually read all the fine print on those colored leatherette, if they run out of colored pieces and you send your camera off for repair with them, then they'll just send you back a normal black leatherette camera. So it's
Because,
like,
I think they had the limited amount of spare leatherettes. or something like
it
this,
seems a bit pointless. But anyway, aside from that, and
the poll there.
I Am Hassan said, actually, perhaps they're artificially limiting the Black ZFC due to supply constraints or wanting to keep demand high. That's a really good observation, and you might not be incorrect on that side of things. But aside from that, in terms of product, just generally, yes, we're like, yay, there's something new. Oh, boo, it's not actually something new. So a few people at the beginning of the live stream before we went live, I saw were commenting on how they really just want something new.
The funny thing was that technically this announcement that we had this week was really a non-announcement. And if you wouldn't have any, people wouldn't be upset. But it seems like that the second week of announcement, 600 came out, people say, where's my this, where's my this? But it seems like on the second week of announcement, it really broke people. And it seems to me that, look, we wouldn't expect them to announce 8512 in October. I mean, that wouldn't happen. So yes, these announcements are technically non-announcements effectively.
Yeah.
But it seems like the non-announcement upset people more than the actual announcement last week,
Yeah.
So from logical point of view, I think at this point, we're done with this year unless Nikon surprises us. And now, anything that's actually going to be substantial, I think we're going to start to see next year.
Yeah, I mean, I read a somewhat acerbic article by Tom Hogan yesterday, which sort of commented on the non-event of the ZFC. But he did say the things that would come next. He's pretty certain, by the sounds of things, that the 85 1.2 and the 200 to 600 are our next two releases, not a camera. I've had a few emails in my inbox this morning saying, can I go on the Z8 list? You always can. Yeah. I always have lists for things. Like I have these fabled lists for things that don't exist. So I'm happy to put you on
your future
lists.
house, a villa next to the ocean.
Exactly. Now, Seth totally reads my mind here. He said, I want a clear ZFC or nothing. Now, I was the kid.
See-through, like a Game Boy.
I was the kid that got the see-through Game Boy. Yeah. I was the kid that got the see-through PlayStation controller.
Nice.
I had the see-through Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
Like, if it's see-through, I want it.
This is a beautiful way to hijack the live stream. Let's talk video games now.
Let's talk gaming.
8-bit.
I'm just going to take a minute here and just say how great Nintendo's customer service is.
Yeah, tell me.
I have twice used them this year. First, because my son's 3DS, this is very important, for my son's 3DS had an error with the screen where the wire was loose and it would just turn off if you moved the screen. They replaced it in full with a brand new 3DS.
Nice.
Possibly refurbed. And they gave me a choice of colors. Which one would you like? And he picked the gold one, of course. And then second, my Switch had Joy-Con drift. Have you ever heard of that?
That's I think it's a classic, yeah.
And you can recalibrate it, but it didn't work. So I sent it off to them. They returned it within 4 days. They repaired it.
That's good. So the margins must be quite high for them to do that.
Yes, exactly. Anyway,
now, back to cameras.
Back to cameras.
Let's thank people, actually. We haven't thanked all the people who send us some coffee, which is Coffee Fund is open.
Yes.
I think I need a bit of coffee, but I feel like it might maybe a little bit angry.
I definitely need coffee. So a big thanks to Randall, who said hi, Becky and Con.
Hello.
Massive thanks to Adrian, who said much needed coffee. To Jean, who said good morning.
Good morning.
And to David said, seems like all the recent cameras, ZFC Black, OM5, XT5, Pentax KF2, I'm reading it off your screen, so don't move it, are designed for budget Christmas with nothing new in them. It's quite a good observation, actually. It's like, can we make a bit of money before the end of the year? That's the feeling, right? Thank you very much for your contributions to the Coffee Fund. And to Yaman, who said... if his comments get a little bit unhinged, then we can ignore them, but we won't. He said, here's for two very distinct drinks, my lovelies. I can't see the rest of that. One chamomile tea in a black mug.
Yes.
With another...
in a black mug with a silver trim.
Brilliant. Enjoy your very direct drinks, even if you...
But you see, the one black mug is reserved to Nikon store only. That's the problem.
Or maybe it's like the lens, with the 40mm. Okay, so let's talk about the 40mm special edition for a second.
Yeah, what about it? It's the same lens.
It's the same lens. Would you pay a little bit more to have
Yeah.
either the 28 special edition or the 40mm special edition with a metal mount, because both those lenses have plastic mounts. And I feel like if you're going to change the cosmetics of the lens, why not, and add a few pounds extra to the price, why not also just put on the metal mount to make it feel a bit more premium?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's basically the same lens with different casings, so the mount is the same. But I'm gonna just put another poll since we're doing that today, and I'm gonna ask you: would you pay extra for retro edition of 28 and 40mm lenses? Obviously, not including all this. Obviously, it doesn't have a metal. Mount
Oh, but
in
without
this
the
case,
metal mount.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because Eric already said I would pay more for a metal mount.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Roy said I much prefer a metal mount, but on small lenses, it's not as critical. This is very, very true.
It's not front heavy.
It's not front heavy. And obviously, by making a plastic mount, they've kind of kept the cost down of the OG versions. Of the special edition versions, they've added the cosmetics and charged. It's about an extra £50 over here for the special editions of those.
To be honest with you, I would pay extra £50 if they release full frame ZF.
Yeah.
Then I would pay. At this stage, you know, I'm not ZFC customer, so for me, it doesn't make any sense. But I think the full frame ZF with 28 and 40, those are perfect lenses for full frame camera.
Yeah.
40mm doesn't make sense for DX camera. It's a 60mm. So I'm really, like, unless you really want to get that kind of 58, 60mm focal distance, you probably will just buy 28 for your kind of street setup, you know. But, you know, for full frame, 28 is a perfect street photography lens, and then 40mm, like for me, as I say, like I prefer it slightly over 35mm. That way you kind of sit right between 35 and 50mm focal distances.
Yes. In fact, so I had this question today on my emails of someone who has a ZFC, has an 18-140 as their walkabout lens, and wants a smaller, lighter sort of street/portrait lens. Now, I said, she was aiming towards the 40mm, and I said, well, I personally would go for the 28 because I think that does give you the street/portrait. But 40mm, which becomes a 60mm on the ZFC, would you use that for street photography?
No.
Feels too long.
No, that's the thing. To be honest with you, currently, if you've got ZFC, it's either 28mm or have a look at the wide lens at 23mm, because 23 gives you 35. It's wider than 42. So it's a bit more streety. You know, when you do street photography, generally consensus is between 24 and 35. So 28 being kind of a good middle ground, but it has to be actually true 28, not 42 like on DX mount, on DX sensor.
Yes. Quite a few people said yes, please, on a metal mount. Seth said the cost of a metal mount is worth it for resale value alone, on top of longevity of the lens for the user. I agree. Eric suggested we create a metal mount conversion service. Need to get some metal Z mounts in there from somewhere. And the Great Loco said, I didn't buy the 51.8G special edition for my DF, preferred the 51.4G lens. So, yes, I mean, in this case, it's like there isn't actually even an alternative lightweight lens. It's those two. And you either go for the original version or the special edition version.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. It's all about manual focus and zone focusing for street photography for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I've kind of relearned the whole street photography in the last year. I can tell you that.
Have you relearned it?
Yes, I did find that actually autofocus sometimes kills street photography.
Yeah.
You know, more than anything else.
I always thought of you as like street and fashion/beauty, you know, studio. Those are your two little like niches.
And now I'm a wildlife and flower guy apparently. Yeah. So you know,
see what my influence has done to it.
Exactly.
I feel very sorry for you.
I'm like a sponge. I soak it all. You know. So, but I just got a large format camera. Remember, on last Christmas, I said I will get into large format photography.
Yeah.
And it's arrived. No lens, no holders, nothing else, just camera.
Just a camera.
But things are expensive, so it's going to take me probably a couple of months to get everything together.
I was going to say, will it be next Christmas before you actually complete the setup?
No, I think I'm hoping to be ready for Christmas because I want to get some portraits of my in-laws.
Nice.
So I want to do that, and then maybe some development stuff because like it's very hard to find actually places that develop 4x5. So I might get a tank and chemicals and learn how to do those things.
I will. I will let you have some of my chemicals. That's fine.
But you know what? You know what? Some Nikon large format lenses are on the way to me from Japan. So we might review some Nikon lenses for large format cameras in the future.
Very, very cool. See, I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That excites me.
Last time Andy asked me, why don't I shoot 8x10? Well, 4x5 is a
there.
good start. You know, it's a
Getting
good
there.
start. Absolutely.
Gonna build up to it.
Could be a slippery slope though.
That's
You never
right.
know, you know.
Sam said you just develop with coffee. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, no, there's a whole, like I've looked at the courses. There's a caffeinol course. On
You've
how
never
to
done
do
it
that.
before.
Not the caffeinol, no. Obviously, I've developed my film, not the large format, but I've developed obviously medium format, 35 format at school when I studied here. So I've done all that. I used the color darkroom and black and white darkroom. I want to go back to the darkroom. Like I guess maybe once I start to shoot large format, but the problem is I don't remember how to use that thing. So I might need to kind of, you know,
Do
a
a
bit of
refresher.
yeah, with some YouTube videos.
And now, so yes, is there a space in your house, like a little cupboard under the stairs, that you could convert into a dark room?
That's a difficult question. Actually, I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, I'm sure I can find. I mean, there's a garage
Yes.
without water.
Yeah.
So, but I'll bring large bottles, you know.
Listen, in the old days, they didn't have running water in their studios.
Well, I can tell you the large format things are expensive. So I'm kind of scrapping eBay for the good deal. So maybe I'll get to larger and other things later on.
Yes. There's a couple of people asking about the mounts of the lenses. It's quite true that some of the smaller lenses, the metal mount is not as essential because it's not a heavy lens. And unless you actually drop it, I mean, I have had a metal mount lens which my husband dropped on a camera. I'm blaming him because I handed it to him and he didn't grab it. He grabbed it but didn't have it, and then it fell.
Are you still married?
Surprisingly.
Okay.
And the lens fell apart into about 3 different parts. The camera was fine. It was a D300 at the time. And the mount was still on the camera.
That's how good the camera is.
That's how good the D300
holds onto
is.
things, yeah.
But I think unless you're going to do something like that, the plastic mount is totally fine. Like, don't have any consideration about it. It's just nicer to have the metal mount, I would say.
It just feels good. I mean, those are inexpensive lenses, okay? But at the same time, I would pay maybe additional 50 quid just to get them out. And obviously, mount in terms of cost of productions probably cost very little to them. But another point I want to, to say about small, like cheap and expensive lenses like this, is if you have lenses like this on the cheaper side of things, then release more of those. Release maybe another 50 or 58 mil. Release another 85 mil. Small, light, and expensive. And that way you can say, well, we have those 1.2 primes. And then we also, so those are very expensive, £2,000-3,000, prime lenses. And then we have very cheap lenses. But then you have different options.
Yes.
So you got your 1.8, which is sitting in the middle ground. Then you got your cheap f2s 2.8s, and then 1.2 is another end. I think that's a viable strategy. So I want Nikon to release more lenses in that particular line.
I've lost, because we started on 3 different topics, I've now lost the thread of what different people are talking about. So if I skipped your comment, I'm really sorry. It was like some people were commenting about something we were talking about much earlier, and then there are a few other people that have interjected.
Probably about Nintendo's customer service.
I think, no, I didn't get a single comment on Nintendo's customer service.
It seems like it's not the target group
Wow, surprise.
of this live stream.
Sam says you could also use tea and seaweed to develop your pictures, by the way.
What about some nice craft beer?
I don't know if you can develop with craft beer. That would be
nice ale.
Quite a jolly time in the dark room there. But I do like this idea of us visiting. Cupcake Bunny said that they love their, they've put another comment since then, but large format Nikon lenses. So I don't know if anyone would be interested in it. In the time that we have been here, I don't think, have we seen maybe one set of large format lenses, or have we ever seen them?
Yeah, I haven't seen, but I think someone offered us and we never got them. So, but yeah, I'm opening large format constant charity fund. So if you've got any large format equipment to send, any backs, any paper, film apparently is expensive. Well, actually I bought Forma 50 sheets for £42. So
that's not too bad.
That's reasonable. I mean, like Ilford gets more expensive, Kodak is more expensive. Obviously, color film is like another level. But obviously, I'm going to practice now.
Yeah.
So I bought the cheapest film possible. So Forma Pan, I went for 400 instead of 100 because I'm not sure if I'm going to have light. But but yeah, you can make it cheap. But if you got some stuff lying around, I'm here.
Yes.
Becky needs a large format camera. She just doesn't know it yet.
Are you trying to convince me? Seth knows what it says. Seth said Nintendo needs no customer service. It's sell the same 4 titles forever. It's
That's true. That's
It's
true.
very
There's
true.
new Zelda coming out soon.
Looking forward to that.
I'm sure there's another Super Mario in the works.
New Pokemon game comes out next week.
Here we go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So there are people that understand
Exactly.
me, right? David from Synthetic Color said, I agree. Nintendo's customer service is stellar. They came through with a $250 gift card. My nephew scratched the numbers off it. That is great. That is amazing. So now Andy asked if you always print your film shots. I mean, I do not.
No,
I will
not at the
print
moment.
the ones I do like a once a year little review of the ones that I want printed, and those are the ones that I print. I want to do a project. Now that I know that my Pentax is actually working, I had some dodgy film, like I had some dodgy runs, let's say, last couple of films that came out of it. But then the last 2 that I shot last week, all 10 shots came out, you'd be happy to hear. And they were correctly exposed because I
That's good news.
double checked the exposure.
Yeah, you open the back and make sure the light falls down nicely on, on the
That's
film.
exactly right. No, I double checked with a separate meter, whether it was checking the metering of what my digital camera was saying or through my phone. I know that's a really lazy way to do it, but it did the job. And I'd love to do a project and actually print a photo book because I haven't done one of those.
Yeah,
in a
but the
while.
question is...
Or a zine,
Yeah,
you know?
but the question is, how do you want to print it? Well, yeah, if you do a book with zine, it's a different story. But if you just print your work, the question is, do you scan it and print it on the printer?
I usually send the pictures off. Actually.
Here you go. Or do you go to the darkroom? You see, like yesterday I was reading about darkrooms in London, and apparently there are about 6 or 7 darkrooms in London. And the cheapest one I found so far is £40 for 6 hours. Black and white or color, which is reasonable. You bring your paper, they supply the chemicals and obviously enlarges. So that's Photo Fusion in Brixton. I used to use Photo Fusion back in my student days.
Wow.
So I used to go there a lot to
still
scan.
going.
I used to go and scan there on Imacon Hasselblad scanners,
Yeah.
you know, for my exhibitions and all that. So that was cool. So I'm actually want to get back to that. It's that's the thing.
Come full circle, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. 1,000 focusing points. You know, that doesn't excite me.
It doesn't.
That's the thing. It's everyone is different, and photography is different. And I do feel that sometimes we just too much kind of concentrate on specifications and things like this. You know, do what you like. That's my point. But I do want to go back to that just to spend 6 hours in the dark. It's my jam now.
I think it's awesome. Also, Cupcake Bunny is giving you lots of tips in the chat. So maybe
I'm going to reread the chat, definitely.
maybe you should reread it, but also like maybe you should start up a separate dialogue here on the subject of large format, although you're always welcome to put as much advice in the comments as you like.
Well, I think we're going to shoot a review of Nikon lens in large format, I think, at some point, once I kind of get the hang of it.
Yes.
You know, so
I think it would, then we can make it
I'll teach you, you know. So
Thanks. Yeah, exactly. Why not?
gonna shoot a full course, sell it for $1 million, you know, get rich finally.
Maybe. I love this. Sam said, I'm trying to reconnect with a 12-roll, 12-month film challenge. That excites me way more than, back about 10, 12 years ago, a lot of people were doing 365 projects, right? Where they would take a picture every single day.
Yeah.
And I never had the time, being a young mother, never had the time to do that. But obviously we take pictures. I now find myself, I will go a long time without taking pictures, except for when we're on our shoots. Like I will actually have a long gap between them. But it would be lovely to do a 1 roll a month thing, and you kind of have to. I've got enough film cameras that wouldn't be a problem.
I mean, it's a lot easier to do it with medium format. So like my Mi 7 is 10 shots per roll. So I do generally end up with 1 to 2 rolls a month on those. But film camera is different because I have 3 film cameras loaded with different film.
Yeah.
So it takes me probably something like 2 to 3 months to finish them all.
Yeah.
Like recently we've sent out a film. That film took me about 3 months to complete those 3 rolls.
Yeah, for me it's I'm like buses, right? I'll shoot no film and then gonna get that put on a t-shirt. I'll shoot nothing for like 3 months, and then four will happen at once. I sent off 2 rolls of medium format and 2 rolls of 35mm the other day. So there you go. Baxter said, I've done 2 365 projects, one of which was exclusively black and white. Ooh, oh, that's exciting. I
That's
love
really cool.
that. And I do think that that's a really good idea. And there's no reason not to start something like that in the middle of the year or whenever you want, because it's just the like conscious decision of I am going to do it now and it's going to run until this particular date or time. Cupcake Bunny said it can take me forever to shoot a roll these days since I often shoot digital with my Nikon DSLR. Or Z bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty is that if you've got both systems, then you really can.
But that's the thing. Every time we talk film, people get angry. Oh, digital is better. Why not shoot both?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And if
We
you
shoot
don't-
both.
We shoot both. And if you
Yeah.
really don't like shooting film, then fine. And
Yeah.
if you don't like digital, also fine.
But that's the thing. It's like two camps that I have to war. No. It's like everyone is somewhere in between. So
Yeah.
like I have digital camera and I have film camera and I just choose whatever I want depending on the situation I'm in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes you go, I would really like to go to this location and shoot film. Yesterday we were in Wakehurst.
Wakehurst Park,
Wakehurst Park.
National Trust. something.
Absolutely beautiful. It's owned by Kew Gardens. It's a National Trust property, and they do a whole sort of like plant conservation work, which we didn't actually see. You could go and spend several days there easily. And the kind of the beauty of it is that it's a location which is very well suited to digital, but it's also incredibly well suited to you brought your what did you bring? Your Mamiya.
I had my Mamiya 7 and then we had the L35s, both of us.
L35s along, and it was like, what a great little camera to bring along. I actually wished I had my FM3A, but
That was on top of the actual things that we carry. And we were reviewing the lens.
they
we
were
had,
extras.
Yeah, we had 2 Z6s, gimbals, all sorts of things. So that was just a spare because I thought, well, it's a nice location. Why not take my film camera with me?
Yes, exactly. And the week before, whenever the last time we did a location shoot was a few weeks ago, I had 4 cameras with me. So on top of the stuff that we were shooting with. So yeah, we don't
Pentax 6.7 was basically like double or triple the weight of the rest of the equipment that you had
That's
with you.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I had 2 lenses. Thank you to Yaman for your wonderful contribution to the Coffee Fund and your lovely comment who said, Gray's customer service is amazing. Very well deserved award. Well done, Con, Beck, and all team team. Thank you, Katrin and Steve, for your exceptional service. That is lovely. I will also pass your compliments on to Katrin and Steve.
And the team, because they actually do the real work here. We just talk, we show up twice. No, I'm kidding. We do the work, but like the team, they're not on the screen. So, they really, really appreciate your words because, they're there, in the trenches.
For today when I'm not doing the live stream, because I will show it to you. It's 3 pages.
No, we do some work as well. Every now and then, occasionally.
Okay. And thank you to Chris for your contribution to the Coffee
Thanks so
Fund
much.
as well. It's very, very much appreciated. Andy suggests that you should catch up with Keith Cooper.
I'll look him up, definitely.
One of the best master printers in the UK. Absolutely wonderful. There's quite a few people saying, darkrooms like still having burns from being in the darkroom. You do have to be pretty careful with those.
That's right. No, I mean, being honest with you, because we boil in this soup of latest news and technology. We're doing the podcast. It takes toll, actually. It's difficult for us sometimes to be on point every week and do the research because there's even with the news podcast, it takes a lot of time to compile and do the things like that. So film photography for us is almost like a therapeutical thing, something that we can take and just take our mind off from those things, So in a way, that's what brings enjoyment of photography. Obviously, we do love to test new equipment because it's cool. We always love to see the new tech. It's cool, but sometimes it's just you want to chill and you just want to enjoy the process.
Precisely that. And I think you can never have too many film cameras. I've got a couple of little Rito cameras. I like those. They're great because I don't mind giving them to my kids, and then I don't have that fear of like one of them's going to drop it or get chocolate on it.
I mean, Tilly doesn't know how to use the camera. That's the thing, so I can't really give it to her.
No.
So,
but it's nice to try different cameras and try different things and experiment with different film stocks. I'm always pleasantly surprised when I find a new film stock that I particularly like. I am going to answer Andy's question.
Yes.
He asked how the book launch went. How the film. Film deal.
I was there.
How the book launch went. It went so well. And, it kind of, because last week's live stream we had Rishi on the show, I couldn't talk about it, even though I really wanted to. But thank you to everyone who actually turned up, as well. I did have some Gray's customers and YouTube viewers show up, which was wonderful. We actually, and I say we, We actually sold every last copy with still nearly an hour to go.
It's out of print. You can't get those anymore.
You can, but
those 10 books that we had.
The wonderful bookshop owner, John, he had ordered some copies in the week. He'd put a display up and he said, I keep selling your books. I hope I'm going to have enough for the event. And I was like, could you order some more? So he ordered some more, which arrived on the Saturday morning, but he also told me to bring along. I had a few copies. I had about 15 copies myself that I brought along. And we sold every single last one. All the ones out the window, all the ones off the shelf. There was not a single copy left. And the beauty of that was that people were still turning up at like 3:45 saying, I've come to buy your book. And I was like, they're all gone, sorry. Anyway, so it was lovely. And everyone was very, very nice. And honestly, it just... Champagne Sumo, you need to stop. Said my book is so spicy it sold out. It is not
spicy. It is spicy. I can tell you that. I mean, what Becky's trying to say is it's basically the last live stream we have with her because she's just retiring after that.
I'm gonna
riding a high horse into the sunset.
Definitely not, but I will. There will be more where that came from.
I heard HBO bought a full season of your new show.
Anyway, obviously, if anyone were to know if there was going to be a film deal, you would know first, and then you would tell everyone. So I wouldn't be allowed to tell you. Because...
And I'll say, hire me. I can do whatever.
Daniele, my husband's already said that he wants a part in the Netflix adaptation. But anyway.
I can do BTS on large format camera. Behind the scenes.
Yeah, you should. Anyway, so that is a few minutes of update as to what happened on my book launch. Thank you to everyone. And if you haven't bought a copy and you like historical fiction with a little bit of gothic mystery, then please feel free to. It was the best day that it possibly could have been, and I was super appreciative of everyone's support. Right, moving back onto cameras.
Yeah, cameras. So, so what do you reckon? So, I think we're done with this year on announcements.
I think so. I mean, the thing is, if Nikon were to announce, and let's say they decided to announce the 85-1.2 and the 200-600 this year, I think it would clash with the fact that we've already got, like, Christmas is impending. The shops have already put up their decorations. The adverts were playing on the radio from the 1st of November. So I think that ship has sailed as far as people's budget or allocation for the end of the year. Saying that, I would really love a development announcement, you know?
That would be good. Around Christmas time.
A development announcement won't hurt anyone. And it would be lovely to see it. The audio is already out, John. It's already on Audible, so you can find it. I
got a spare credit.
Yeah.
So, I could.
It's actually really well done. It was narrated by Polly Edsel. She is a fantastic narrator and voice actress or voice actor. And she did every part of it. She's brilliant. So you can absolutely do that. Yeah, the paperback's not available in the US until February. That's because of paper allocations.
So I have a bit of a theory based on what you said about the Christmas allocations and, money being spent around Christmas. So Nikon financials just came out as well. We're going to talk more about it on the Nikon report, and you all love that. So basically, they said that they not expecting the amount of units they sell actually increase year to year up to 2025. They say the market is going to shrink,
right?
But the amount of units they expect to sell is going to be the same. So actually, they will increase their share because the market is going to shrink. Now, what that means is that for next year, they're going to release new products, right?
Yes.
So effectively, if I'm thinking, and again, it's a pure speculation, but I'm thinking, okay, Z6, Z7 Mark III comes out. So that's effectively, now I'm sure sales are going down based on that. Z9 is selling well. Everything else probably is kind of, shrinking in terms of sales. So those cameras are going to come out. The volume is going to go up. Yeah. So Z8 potentially, if it comes out, and if it's 4,000 pound camera, whatever that is, if it exists, etc., should probably get on the sales volumes of Z9.
Yeah.
And Z9 sales, once it becomes free stock, will go down a little bit. So those things we're going to have, and then if we have ZF, that may bring completely new market to the table. So obviously it will eat up some sales from Z6, Z5, and Z7 users.
Yeah.
But I think it will bring also a lot of people maybe coming from DSLRs or film cameras, etc., just because it's like a ZFC, it's a bit of a unique camera. And then obviously, if we start to look at Z5 Mark II replacement, which is again, like, I don't want to speculate on Z90 per se, but Z5 Mark II is highly likely it's going to come out anyway.
Right.
So again, this year, next year, well, next year clearly. So so if you start to see those, so they are, if they expect the same, amount of units sold, they definitely need to release some cameras to do that, because with existing lineup, you're not going to sell.
Yeah.
Everyone is expecting replacements at some point.
Yeah, and like Tom said, Tom Lawrence said Z6 III development announcement would be a nice Christmas present from Nikon. I think that because there were some people who were saying, oh, I'm actually very happy with my Z6 II. It's working well. I don't think it would hurt Nikon to tell people that they're working on something. And I don't think that would necessarily... As you said, the market is shrinking and they know that. But also with a product like Z6 II, Z7 II, I think the announcement of a development of a Mark III version, do you think that would then squash the sales or kill the sales of a Z6 II or Z7 II? Or do you think that's already we're already...
I think, yeah, we kind of had this, we had similar discussion last time. And it seems like the development announcement is only reserved for the top kind of shelf products.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think we had this comparison with D850. I think we didn't have D850 development announcements.
Yeah.
So only D6 had that. So the same with Z9, et cetera, and long exotic lenses. So in terms of this, I don't think they will actually do the development announcement for that. I think there's a lot of people putting very high expectations because they see what Z9 is and they hope that a lot of those features are going to trickle down into Z6 and Z7 cameras. And I think the problem is if they gimp it, people will be disappointed. But the longer the wait, the expectation is just going to rise and rise and rise and rise.
Yeah. Andy says that the latest financial report projects 140,000 more interchangeable lens cameras units sold in the second half of the year compared to the first half. This is always interesting. And as Andy points out, it's a big increase, suggests more than one new camera. I think that Z8 for sure would not necessarily kill the sales of existing cameras because there is nothing else. If it's what we think it's going to be, there's nothing else like that on the market. Yeah. Don't think it's going to kill the Z9 sales. Don't think it's going to kill the Z6 II/Z7 II. Speaking of Z9s, we sent out 2 communications last week to the remainder of our waiting list. The lead time is now about 10 working days.
That's cool.
So if you are still on the fence or you were waiting for it to be free stock, this is now about as close as it's going to be to free stock. Our next delivery will arrive end of next week, and we'll be shipping them out the beginning of the following week. It just kind of depends on what day they arrive. As Seth has just pointed out, Z9s are flying back to stock. So we're finding that now, finally, flying. He said flying. So that's very, very exciting news. Obviously, there are other lines that are we're a bit short on, like the 24-120. Indra Jeet said there's a lot available in India. Goodness me, could you send them to us? Because so 24-120s is a really weird one.
Whoever was the ordering manager for this particular item should get a slap on the wrist.
It is so strange because first initial delivery, amazing. Like great initial stock, then nothing for a really, really long time, which then built up back orders. That's usually how these things work. Then a little trickle, like here's 1. Here's 3.
I have a feeling that some massive shipments just disappeared or went to the wrong place.
They went to India.
I can't explain it. Yeah,
they're over there. They're with Indra.
Give it back.
And the issue with that is that now Nikon in the UK and Europe have put it on an instant save. So
it's on sale, but there's no stock.
It's like really weird. Anyway, very, very strange. As Seth said, he thinks that Z9 will be back out of stock after this massive surge that's hitting the shelves now. So my suggestion would be, like, if you are keen to get one, I think it's either going to be like now, November time, or you wait till the beginning of next year, because I don't think we're going to see that many in December. That's my kind of prediction. But it is very, very tough to manage expectations when there is a sudden surge and then there's nothing, which was what happened with the 24-120.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah. But definitely with Z9s, it's like, let's just say for now, the lead time is about 10 working days, which is great. And what else is there that people are waiting for? Did
we thank Chris after Yemen?
I think so, but if I didn't, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Chris, for your contribution to the Coffee Fund. If I didn't, I apologize. And Wayne says, thanks to us notifying him in the last couple of shows, he was able to grab a Z9 within a week and 24-120 lens in one shot.
That's great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Merry Christmas to me. Alan asks if there's any news on the TC 1.4s. Very sadly, no. There have been no or next to no deliveries. I mean, we're talking like one every 3 months at the moment. So really not sure what's going on there. Tom Lawrence does show jumping and cross country with horses plus athletics for humans. So what's your camera lens of camera/lens of choice, Tom? Because that's really cool. This is what I would like to do. I would love to do equestrian photography. That's another branch of photography that you have no interest in that I would like.
No, I've done horse riding once.
I used to be a rider. This is why.
I was scared. I was scared. Great. I mean, we washed the pony, so that's they get you. You go there first. You wash the pony. After you wash the pony, they give you a very old horse, very old, so it's not, so it's calm.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, it's scary because it's an animal, and you need to build that trust. And I guess, if you learning those things as a kid is probably different, but as an adult, it's like, I started to drive the car very late.
Yeah,
it took me a while
it's not the same as running a horse, but anyway.
To get to the manual gear and all this. No, it's just the your kind of alertness to any danger is much higher.
Yeah.
So you think you're gonna fall down every 5 seconds on a horse, So that's the problem. So yeah, it's. I think I'll be on the ground with a long lens, and I'll photograph you.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'll ride, you can photograph, that's no problem. Andy said, get ready to be very wet and cold. It's true, it can be really horrible weather to do stuff like that. And indoor equestrian photography is a pitiful lighting. Tom said Z6 II 24-120 or 70-200. That's a nice combination. Very good. And Stephen suggested maybe horses running through a field of flowers. That's for you specifically. So you do flowers and horses.
And horses, my jam. Yeah.
That's brilliant. There's a few people who are saying like their Z9s are coming, which is fantastic. So now here is the other update. I did send out a newsletter earlier on in the week about. This is my moment to just talk to people because about doing, if you did a Nikon owner subscription, a new one, Peak Design or Transcontinental, who are the supplier in the UK, sent us a very few leash straps. If I had one, the leash is what I use on most of my film cameras. It's the thinner, skinnier strap, the leash.
That's
not the cuff.
Okay, not the cuff.
The leash,
okay.
Right? In fact, mine came from our very own Fred, who sent it to me, which was good of him.
While you were in Florida.
Well, I was in Florida and I forgot my lens strap. My camera strap. So the leash, we have a few. Now, we only have, I think, 4 left. So if you do a subscription through Nikon Owner, and if you put in the coupon code box the word leash, then if you're one of the first 4, you will get the leash completely free. Now,
all right, while stock lasts.
Is that
what they say? Yeah, okay.
Obviously, if you put in a leash and I've run out, then I'll send you something else. That's fine, but it won't necessarily be a. Fred's here. See, I was just talking
Hi,
about
Fred.
you, and there you are. Hi. Then I have some other bits and pieces. Obviously, it won't be a camera strap necessarily, but we managed to get those from Peak, and we've just got just a very few left. So if you would like that, please do subscribe today if you get a chance to. I was going to say if you want to put the link in the box.
Yeah, I'll do that. But also subscribe to the channel. So we are at 15,794 subscribers. So we need 6 subscribers to hit 15,800 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do that. We will know who you are. And then, maybe some likes as well. That helps. Yeah,
the likes on the stream would be helpful because we have people watching.
People?
I don't know how many, but we have 273 people watching and only 127 likes. That is shocking. So if you would, that one will do. So if you could give us a like, that would be great. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And if you would like a leash and you're one of the first 4 people to take me up on the offer, then you can just click the box. You can subscribe through the Grays of Westminster website online shop or through the Nikon Owner magazine link, which Con's just put in the description there. And
it's pinned.
And there you go. It's for Jeff. Don't feel bad. It's for brand new subscribers. So
You know
so
how it
really-
is. It's always new.
Yeah, it's for the fresh blood. But send an email to Gillian. Maybe she's got something that she can send to you, or Catherine.
We are like a
It's
broadband company.
only for
Always
the new
good,
customers.
exactly. Always a good thing for new customers, and then you always have to call the retentions.
That's right. Thank you very much to Simon for your contribution
Thanks,
to the coffee fund.
Simon.
That is tremendously appreciated. And the beauty of the Nikon Owner magazine, just to plug it a little bit further, is it is filled with articles by photographers who just shoot with Nikon and nothing else. We do have reviews, sort of equipment reviews, technical support in there, and also usually some points of interest. And we've just started the next issue. Next issue is going to have some Joe McNally action in there as well, which is great. So that's a little teaser for you. So you come to me and I tell you all the secrets.
When is that date coming out?
Except that, because I don't know. So now here's a question. What do you prefer for a wider lens, 14-30 or 21-8? Both are now on sale. This is from Rubaid. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly, and sorry if I didn't. So for me, I would prefer a wider prime than 20, but the 21.8 is a really great low distortion prime lens. It is very, very, very good. You can't really go wrong with it. The 14-30, if you need that flexibility and focal length, is good. I personally would love for them to do a 14, like a 14 1.8 or something, but in a smaller form factor, the same size as the 21.8. I don't know if they'll ever do something like that. But as Rishi was saying last week on the show, wide angle prime is what he's after as well. And I think that would be interesting. I like the old 18mm AIS lens, 18 3.5. A 14mm prime would be absolutely wonderful. I've just seen Andy's just said, how about a 14mm prime? Yes.
It should be smaller than 14-24.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my kind of choice.
But the thing about this is, obviously, if you're a travel photographer, then 14-30 probably makes more sense.
Yeah.
But let's say, if you're an astrophotographer, then maybe 20mm 1.8 is going to be better, just because you can open it to 1.8. So there are different applications for different things, I would say.
That's right. Thank you very much to Fred for your
Thanks,
contribution
Fred.
to the Coffee Fund, who has ordered you all to hit the like button. Jeremy asked if we've tested the Tamron 70-300. Yes.
We need 3 more subscribers.
Three
We got
more.
3 out of it. Like, come on, guys.
3 more
3 subscribers to hit 15,800. I know we've never done those things.
No.
Like, but
it's nice.
It's nice.
Nice
yeah.
if it happens while we're chatting away.
Exactly.
The answer is yes. We tried the 70-300 yesterday. That's what we were doing in Wakehurst, and so far it's interesting. It's okay.
It's okay. It's
Not to spoil our video.
yeah. It's difficult lens for the money. It's great.
Yeah, for the cost and the fact that Nikon don't have anything else available, it's very good. What we will probably do separately, not as part of that video, but maybe at a later stage we'll do another one, is compare it with the F mount 70-300s. Because my feeling is that if you've got the F mount 70-300, either the AFP or the VR, and you're using it on an FTZ, yes, it's a bit more clunky and cumbersome to do that, but I feel like you're not gonna gain anything from going for the Tamron except losing a bit of weight.
Being native, basically. Yeah.
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 That's
I agree.
that is the only advantage of it. It's also not VR. It doesn't have any image stabilization on the lens. So
yeah, your camera has to have one. So DX users,
yeah.
you are, well, if you buy it, you just future-proofing your system for full frame, but actually because your DX camera doesn't have VR on the sensor, you won't have VR on the lens as well.
That's exactly that. So yeah, but it's interesting. Image quality is not bad, as you would expect. It's better at the closer focal lengths than at the sort of if you're shooting at infinity, but that's the case with a lot of lenses.
Right, we need 2 more subscribers.
Sam's saying, do we get a prize if you get enough
huge
subs?
thank you.
Yeah, big thank you. Also, I've just designed some stickers. So for once they arrive, all the orders going out between now and Christmas will have free stickers with them.
Ooh.
Doing little things like that. I'm waiting for our tote bags.
Gonna cover all our Apple logos everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
with the grey stickers. Thank you to Gary for your contribution to the Coffee Fund.
Thank you, Gary.
And someone else was asking if we have reviewed the 90mm Voigtlander, which we have. And that video will be out. It's edited, should be out. And is it edited? Did you finish the audio?
I did the audio, yeah. I need to re-edit it. I think I've over-processed it, so I need to re-edit it. But it's, The rest of the video is done.
Okay, so it's nearly done. My part's done. So it should be out in the next couple of weeks, I would say. 3 to 4 weeks. I
Do
think
we have a
we've got
video
scheduled.
schedule for this one already?
Z30.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got this coming weekend. We've got a vlogging for beginners, but there's a lot of extra stuff in there. There's like a comparison of built-in audio versus mic'd audio, difference between iPhone footage and Z30 footage. There's a lot in that video. So it's not just for people who are utter beginners, but it is there. The Great Loco can't wait to see the 90mm.
So in 2 weeks then, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be not this weekend, but the weekend after. Thank you to David from Synthetic Colour, who said
Thank you,
for
David.
coffee and whiskey. The whiskey's for
Yay.
you, the coffee's for me. Seth is very enthusiastic about our stickers. So you have to go place an order,
Little
Seth.
things, you know. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Buy a Z9 from us.
Yeah, buy a Z9 from us, Seth,
Forget
and
it, Rama.
we'll put the stickers in. But my plan is that when the stickers arrive, which should be early next week, we'll just put a few in every single order between now and Christmas until we run out. That's the idea.
Ooh, limited run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm very pleased. I hope they come out well because obviously I designed them all. So anyway, it's not actually, we don't have a festive sticker in the way that Analog Wonderland do, although I did think about it.
Yeah.
A little bit of holly on a Nikon F
okay.
or something. These are stickers you could use all year round. You can't see it on camera, but on my portable hard drive, I have Analog Wonderland stickers and one from Photogenic Supply. Seth, if you know anyone from Photogenic Supply, they're US based, please hook me up because I buy stuff from them and it's very expensive to get it shipped over here.
Are they t-shirts and all that?
There's all sorts of things, but yeah, like t-shirts, and they're doing a new crew neck jumper. It's like $100, but looks very nice.
Yeah, I want to get in touch with Photodiox or Diox.
Yeah.
Photodiox.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
One of those. They also, I think, based in the United States. I want to get some of those adapters for Nikon cameras.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm all about the apparel. However you pronounce it. But yes, it would be good to also be able to get some of those bits and pieces. Import duties are a lot.
That's true.
So how useful is the Voigtlander Nocton 58 1.4 wide open?
Soft but beautiful rendering.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
It is very nice.
Lots of flare if you're in the sunny conditions, but
bit of chromatic aberration if you're like shooting against very pale skies, but
adds to the magic actually. So hit mine or Becky's Instagram. We've actually got some samples taken with all Voigtlander lenses. So that was posted in the last couple of weeks.
Con's got more than I do, but they are up there if you're interested. I think that PYIPF, a little bit late to the party, but yes, you're quite right. The Black ZFC exclusive special edition is officially on the web store of Nikon. You won't be able to buy it from a dealer in the shop. I think they came a little bit late. That was the beginning of our stream.
Yeah, we even had a poll.
we did everything. A lot of people like the stickers idea, which is great. And there's a few people mentioning smaller lenses. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nikon do with the pancake lens. I mean,
the 26.
The 26mm could be an interesting one. And I'm also hoping that they do a few more of those pancake lenses because the 28 and the 40 are great.
I'm still puzzled by the decision of actually launching it because it's, got 24, 28, so why would you have 26? It's too many lenses that line up. I know it's going to be small and probably it's going to be smaller than 28 2.8, but it just puzzles me, again, as I say, as from urgency of what we need to be released.
Yeah.
I don't think it's needed to be on a, let's say, Z-Lens roadmap, but again, I think it's a funky lens. I would be more surprised if it would just come out of the blue, like 28-75 lens or, or the other Tamron lenses.
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense for them to do a 24 than a 26. 26 is an odd focal length, but anyway, we'll see.
You know what? I would like 28-1.8 as well. 28-8 is nice, but also 28-1.8 is missing out of all those 1.8s that we have.
It's very true. We don't have any opinion of the Maya Optic Gorlitz Primaplan 75mm f1.9 Mark II lens.
But they're welcome to get in touch with us and send us a sample.
That's right. It's usually how we review those third-party things, except for the Tamron lens, which we bought ourselves. But there are most of the other, like the stuff that Graze doesn't stock, they have to get in touch with us if they want us to review things. So if you know anyone, Jeff, Tell them.
So, guys, we need 2 more subscribers to hit 15,800. You know who you are.
Are we staying live
know who
until we
you are.
hit it?
Exactly.
Because we basically
That's
done.
going to be a long live stream.
So 24/7 Media Group said, should someone wanting to get into Nikon buy something now or wait for the new offerings? Cameras is what I'm asking about. So it does depend on what you're looking at. Like
Yeah.
if you're going entry level, Z30 is a great camera. It's honestly a very capable camera. If you can do away with the viewfinder. ZFC, also a lovely camera. Z50 still has its place on, I would say, on that kind of DX lineup, but it does need updating, I feel. But the Z30 is very, very good. If you're looking at full frame, then it's a bit trickier because full frame, there are so many different options. And I think that it's really down to what you shoot with. If you shoot kind of just a bit of everything, then Z6, Z7, Z6 II, Z7 II, even the Z5, if you don't shoot video primarily, because it does shoot video, but if that's not like your main use case, Z5 is still a great camera. Takes 2 SD card slots, 2 SD cards. It's, you know, it hot charges. It does like everything that you can want a decent full frame mirrorless camera to do. And it's only when you come to high-end video or high-end sports and wildlife photography that then you need to look at the more expensive options. So I don't see that there's any reason to hold back myself. I use a Z6. I'm very happy with it. We use a Z6 II for filming. We're very happy with it. We have no complaints. We shoot stills and video, a combination of both on those cameras. I also use the DX system, so Z50. I have no complaints at all about those. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, but we always like new stuff.
Well, that's the thing. It's really difficult because if you look at the internet, they will tell you that you have to wait.
You have to wait, and you have to wait for something that's not going to come out.
It's gonna come out when it's ready.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and things like this. You know, but yeah, I think if you're looking at technology Z9 where it's at, and by knowing that the future products will have some of that magic. And because of that, if you're a pro and you need a specific camera to hit certain things, then you may want to wait for those things. But everyone's case is very different. So, you know, I wouldn't just base your choice of camera just on specifications.
Yeah, exactly. As Andy said, just don't watch or listen to Northrop or Poland. Different YouTubers will give you different advice. We're probably the most down to earth in terms of like, if you don't need to spend the money, then don't spend the money.
But that's why I go and shoot film, because it's just too toxic. You know, that's why, you know, I can't be, it's just boiling in its own juices. It's too much. It became a place where everyone is shouting. We can't have normal conversational expectations because people just start to argue about certain things.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, yes, we all want good things.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we can't have just a normal conversation. That's what puzzles me. I don't know. It's like driving. You know, everyone is crazy when they're driving. They're different people. It seems like people on YouTube are the same thing. It just puzzles me.
Speak for yourself. I am very composed when I'm driving.
You haven't seen me driving.
Yes, I have.
It's like I'm here on a live stream.
Anyway, we hope that's been... Did we hit our target? Did we get 2 more subscribers?
I think people just unsubscribed after my rant. No, still
thank
98. Oh, yeah.
Thank
well
you
done.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you all being here this afternoon, keeping us company. We've all, you know, vented some of our anger. I think we've sort of had a little bit of a group therapy session.
Yeah, I hope you all feel a bit lighter.
Yeah. And I really, really hope that you have a great weekend. Whatever you're shooting, whatever you're doing, whatever camera you're using, you know, who cares?
Exactly.
Just go and take some photos and feel happy about it.
Absolutely. And just so you know, we really appreciate you being here with us.
We do.
Because without you, we would be just talking to ourselves. And while we love to talk about it, you know, like between us, you know, but having you here and looking at the chat, it's a fantastic experience. Thank you so much.
Exactly. We will see you next week. Have a good weekend all.
Absolutely. Get ready for these financial reports.
Yay. Brace yourselves.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.